Hi, I'm Cecil Maranville, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. Are you familiar with the worship hymn titled, "If My People"? It is deeply meaningful and moving. The words are drawn from a single verse that we will look at today. It's found in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. It reads, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land." Even more meaningful than the verse is the historical circumstance that birthed it. The words were given directly to King Solomon by God, apparently in a dream, on the night after Solomon dedicated his magnificent temple. The temple was 7 years in building, by a crew of approximately 183,000. The cost was phenomenal. The gold alone used in the temple would exceed $200 billion at today's value. 120,000 sheep and 22,000 oxen were sacrificed as part of the dedication ceremonies. Clearly, it was a time of great prosperity for Israel, part of what is known historically as its golden age. So why did God speak of them having wicked ways and being in danger of losing his blessing? These thoughts seem out of sync with the backdrop of great celebration. God's words are actually part of his answer to Solomon's dedication prayer, in which the king foresaw that Israel would sin in the future, and that they would then need God's forgiveness. Ironically, this was true for Solomon himself as well. The king's prayer is in the previous chapter. Solomon asked God to forgive the people when they repented of their sins. God assures the king that he would, and that he would restore his blessings on them when they sincerely repented. Does God have a people today? Yes, he does. They are the true church of God, called the Israel of God in Galatians chapter 6, verse 16. How does someone seek his face today? How does someone come to be called by his name today? This happens through the process of conversion. Once converted, is that person forever one of God's people, regardless of what he or she does? Today's verse answers that critical question. The people who were called by God's name in Solomon's day could lose that name. Whether they would cease to be God's people depended on their actions. They needed to continue obeying God, and when they sinned, they needed to turn back to his way of life to be forgiven. This remains true today. No one continues to be one of God's people regardless of how he or she lives. We must faithfully follow his way of life, repenting and returning when we stray. Then we too are assured of God's merciful forgiveness. Note this excerpt from our booklet, What is a True Christian? Some churches promote an idea known as eternal security, often expressed as once saved, always saved. This belief asserts that once a person becomes a Christian, his or her eternal salvation is guaranteed, making it impossible to fall away. That idea is not biblical. As the world grows increasingly dark, dedicated Christians must be ever more serious to hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, as it says in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23. There are many temptations that can lure Christians off the narrow path. Only those who endure temptation will receive eternal life. That's found in James chapter 1, verse 12. And that's the end of the excerpt from What is a True Christian. We'd like you to have a copy of this booklet. See the show notes for a link.
Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.